Hey, Miriam Kleinstall here. Going to show you how to do a paper cut today with, I'm going to use black paper. You can use any color paper that you want, but what you'll need is to start out with a piece of paper. We're going to make a drawing on it, and then we're going to cut it out with an X-Acto knife. So you need an X-Acto knife and something to cut on, a self-healing pad. This is a piece of cut paper, and one thing you'll notice is that all of the pieces are still connected. So it's still intact as one piece of paper, but we cut out the spaces that we want the color to be behind it. So this is the young Ruby Bridges being escorted into school by the National Guard. This is a paper cut of the writer Anne Frank. And one thing you'll notice, again, to keep it all connected, is that her eyebrows are attached over to her hairline, which obviously her eyebrow didn't go all the way over, but if I had cut that out, her whole face would have fallen out. So as you're drawing for your paper cut, you have to figure out how to keep it all connected. And then I cut in black paper and often glue to a lighter piece of paper. But lately I've also been making watercolor backgrounds. So this is a paper cut of Dolores Huerta glued onto white paper, and then I did a watercolor behind it. This is a paper cut of the Names Project of the AIDS quilt displayed in Washington, D.C. with watercolor behind for all of the colors. So that's an option. Or I also like just how they look as paper cuts. So today I'm going to cut out the poet Adrienne Rich, who's one of my favorite poets. So I have the image up here on my computer to look at, and I'm working on making this drawing. So I'm just putting in the last touches of some little highlights for her hair in here, and I'm about to start cutting it with my blade. So the original picture didn't have her shoulders in it, but I wanted to put them in, so I just kind of made up a shirt for her. I'm going to use a X-Acto knife. This is just a basic X-Acto blade with a number 11 blade. Most houses probably have something to cut with, some sort of blade. And then this is a cutting mat that a lot of people have that you can get in art stores. I like to use this one because it's a white background, so I can see what I'm doing a little better. So the first thing I'm going to do is just start cutting out around the outline that I made of Adrienne Rich. And if you haven't read her poetry, I recommend it. She's one of my all-time favorite poets. So I'm just cutting around the perimeter, around the outside of this whole composition. And this is a good way to start for you all at home, just to get the feeling of the blade. So that's that part. And then I like to just go right into the face. And I, for some reason, always start with the forehead, and I'm cutting out the hairline here. And once you cut a piece out, take it all the way out so you can see what you got. Another trick that I do is that I flipped the image on the computer that I drew backwards and drew it on the paper backwards. So on my final paper cut, it'll be nice and clean on that side, and you won't see all of my pencil marks. So that's one thing you can do if you have the technology to do that. Otherwise, you just draw it and erase your pencil later. So as you can see, as I'm cutting, I'm just taking parts out so I can see what I've got. And you can take your time I'm just going kind of quick here so you can see a final cut in not too long. And you can see with my hand I'm not cutting with, I hold pieces down so that the paper doesn't move around too much as I'm cutting. So you're actually being pretty active with both hands. Both your cutting hand and your hand that's not cutting is being a helper by holding paper down for you. Instead of cutting out individual teeth, I like to cut out just a big white shape because, I don't know, teeth end up looking weird when they have little spots cut out. She has a little earring in, so I'm going to cut out this little hoop. And then I'm going to cut out a really thin line around it. So now I'm working on the shirt and I'm just putting a few little details in here. I decided to leave the shirt mostly black. I think it looks better high contrast like that than if I did the shirt light. So, and again, the original picture of Audrey and Rich didn't have the shirt in it. So I just kind of made it up because I thought it would look better with shoulders. And I'm getting pretty close here to where I want it to be. Another highlight in the hair maybe. What do you think, studio assistant? Does it need anything else? I see the part I forgot. Above your eye, there's like a little line often. This is really hard to cut out. So I'm cutting the tiniest little line that's above your top eyelid. And I'm going to do one on this side too. Kind of holding my breath when I'm doing this cut because this is really fine little line. That looks better, doesn't it? So I think that's done. If you make your own paper cut, that'd be great if you post it and then hashtag made with Miriam. Okay, thanks. See you later.